Welcome to the Speechie Show. Being a speech-language pathologist often means having too much work and not enough planning time. To beat the overwhelm, we're bringing you the tricks and tools that will make your job a little bit easier. Hey everybody, welcome to the Speechie Show. I am your host, Carrie Clark with speechandlanguagekids.com. And I'm here today with Jenna Rayburn from Speech Room News. How are you, Jenna?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to have you on. I know that a lot of my followers also follow you, so I'm sure our friends are very excited to see us both in the same place, almost.
Simultaneously, kind of.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So today we were talking about the tricky K and G sounds.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
It's like a dreaded sound.
Absolutely. I hear a lot of people complaining about this one. So good topic today.
Of R.
Yes, yeah, R and K and G. And we've hit both of those on the Speechie Show. If you are new to the Speechie Show, this is a weekly show where I interview another speech-language pathologist. And we talk about one topic for a while. We get feedback from you if you are watching online. We are on Facebook Live right now. So if you are watching with us, the December 5th today? If you're watching with us here on December 5th, go ahead and type in for me in Facebook Live, are you having trouble with the K and G sounds? Or are you good to go? If you're good to go, I don't know why you're here. But go ahead and type in if you're having trouble too. Type yes for us so we know you're here. So we are going to go ahead and talk about K and G in just a minute. We also have some giveaways coming, so don't skip out. Hang on till the end to get the giveaways. But Jenna, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself for anyone who's not familiar with you?
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me on again, and we're going to tackle K and G today. So my name is Jenna Rayburn, and I am a school-based speech-language pathologist, and I live in Ohio. This is my 7th year as a speech therapist. And I work in a preschool right now. I've done, sorry, I have a cold, speaking of.
Of course.
School-based clinician in December, me
Yep.
and everyone else.
Yep.
So I right now work in a preschool-only special ed program. My district has like 13 different elementary schools, and then they send all their preschoolers to one building. So it used to be an elementary school, and now it's a preschool only. So it's a really cool space for speech therapists. So right now I live preschool all day, every day. And about 60% of my week is doing therapy, and about 40% of my week is part of the evaluation team. So every week I do play-based assessments for incoming kiddos who are qualifying for preschool.
That
so
sounds
it's pretty
fun.
awesome. Yeah. And I've done up to like middle school age. I haven't really dabbled in the high schoolers and beyond, but all the pediatric levels I enjoy, but preschool is my favorite. So that's why I'm talking about K and G, because everybody is doing cluster reduction and everybody's fronting in my land.
Absolutely. And I don't see any comments on there. If you guys are watching on Facebook Live, tell us if you're working on K and G with any of your students. And you have a giveaway for us later too. What are you giving away?
So speaking of phonology, I'm going to give away something called Falling Flakes Phonology, because I love alliteration. And it's going to have winter activities. So you can do them starting now all the way until, if you live in Ohio, it snows in April, unfortunately. And it's all the different phonological processes. So you'll have lots to practice with your students. It's really interactive. So I'll show you that in a little bit too.
Perfect. Okay, so everybody hang tight. We are going to be doing giveaways. She's giving away that. I'm giving away 2 free months in my membership program for speech-language pathologists.
That's a good giveaway.
Yeah. So stick around for that. Don't forget to share this video. The more we share it, the more it'll go around. So if you know someone who needs help with K and G, tag them, share it on their Facebook page, or share it on your own Facebook page for your friends as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. We have 5 tips to share with you today. And Jenna's going to tell us the first one, which is using gravity. Jenna, tell us about that.
So I guess I'm starting kind of backwards, because this is like one of my last resort tips. But for some reason, like I've had maybe 5 or 6 kids in my career that this was like that one thing that you're like, well, I could have done that a month ago and this would have been, a lot easier. But I just use gravity. So I either have them lay on their back or lay on a exercise ball, and we try to use gravity to elicit that k or that g sound, getting that tongue elevated in the back. And sometimes, no matter how many Cheerios I put under their tongue or how many times we hold their tongue tip down, just using that gravity helps them feel it and feel like what it's supposed to feel like. So it elicits that sound. Then we still have to use strategies to get it when they're sitting upright, because we don't all just lay on the ground all day. But using gravity sometimes really helps me get that tongue elevated, in the back of their mouth.
So basically you're just having them lay down and then you're saying, now say k.
Yeah, I have them lay on their back and open their mouth as wide as they can, and I have them do animal sounds, which is one of the ways that I elicit it is through animal sounds usually. Like I'm having them growling or making a noise like that. So I have them lay flat on their back and just try to elicit it, normally, but I'm using gravity to help that tongue get it back there.
Okay. So you actually have them lay down and then try other strategies too. So you could do this with any of them.
It's the last resort. Usually.
I love it. You also mentioned the Cheerio thing, which I don't see on our list. So will you mention that one? That'll be our bonus. You get 6 today, guys.
Okay, 6.5. It's kind of the same thing. I didn't really put in there, but I just always have them hold their tongue tip down with their finger. I don't try to put my finger in their mouth because I don't want to get bit. Number 1. Number 2, that some kids are so gag reflexy. Is that a word?
Sure.
I'm making it up. They have a easily triggered gag reflex, and I don't want that to happen. So I have them use their own finger, and I have them hold the tongue tip down and say that sound, camel, or whatever I'm having them say. And so once they can kind of do that, and I'm trying to wean them off of that, I use a Cheerio, and I have them put a Cheerio right underneath their tongue, and I have them try to hold down that Cheerio with their tongue, because if they're focused on that, then sometimes I can get their posterior tongue to elevate, so I can get that or g.
Absolutely. So that was like 3 for 1, guys. We're banging them out here. All right. So Angela says she always has K&G for her pre-K kiddos. Definitely. So, and looks like Farhana just shared the video. Thanks. Don't forget to share the video, guys. And stay tuned because we're doing some giveaways. Also, if you guys have any questions about eliciting K&G or any of the strategies we're talking about right now, go ahead and type those in. If you're watching with us live, we'll answer them now. If you're watching later, then we'll answer them whenever we can get back to you. So, all right, let's move on to number 2/4, wherever we are. So that one is utilizing animal sounds. Tell us about that one.
So preschoolers have such a hard time following like a one-step direction, like throw this in the trash can, that if I try to give them a one-step direction that relates to their mouth and lifting their tongue, it's just too hard. So I always start with that natural, however I can elicit that sound that they might already be doing through animal noises or car noises or train noises or whatever it's called. And so I usually use animal noises like a growling sound to elicit that grr sound in the back. And sometimes, even if they're not doing it at all in any place in words, I'll hear it in that animal sound. So that's kind of like the first thing I ask them to do if I'm going to check for stimulability or check if they can do it. Before I even say, watch my tongue and copy what I do, I just say, oh, let's pretend we're bears. Rawr, grrr, and I just try all these different sounds and see if I can elicit it through an animal sound.
Yeah, I've also done like a kind of a monster sound, so we'll just go like, which it's kind of like a stretched out K, like a fricative K almost, and that seemed to help for some of my kids, and they really have fun with that too.
Yeah, to get that voiceless sound. And then my next tip kind of follows that. So for I usually do the cough sound. I'm like, oh, let's fake a cough. And I mold their cough into a cough.
Yes, absolutely.
I shape it. I try to do that.
Yeah. Okay, if you guys have used one of the animal sounds or coughing, let us type in what you call that. So like what kind of sounds, like is it a monster sound? What's worked for you, for your kids? And then, touching on that, I've noticed once you can get them to make like a coughing sound or like a kind of growling sound, then you can kind of, like you said, shape it down. So you can say, okay, well, let's practice making that really short or really choppy and try to get them to do it different ways that sounds more like a K without actually telling them they're making the K. Because then, of course, they're like, oh, yeah, that's my K. Yeah,
I guess that should have been my very first tip. And that's what I always do is I rename the sound. So if whatever is the trigger that helps like, if you're laying on your back and you get it, and then I'll call it your napping sound.
Nice.
Because you were laying down and you got it. If you are growling like a bear when you got your guh, it becomes the bear sound. Now, if you walked into private speech therapy and said, I'm working on my bear sound, that person might not know, but that doesn't matter, because to me, I'm just trying to help that kiddo reframe that. Because you're right. The first time you say, okay, now practice your sound, he's going to go.
Yeah. We don't talk about the K sound.
And sometimes I call it a new sound. If I can't get the kid to elicit it, like nothing works right off the bat, I just call it your new sound. We're going to do let's do that new sound that we practiced last week. So It becomes the new sound.
Yeah.
Anything but calling it the k or the g sound.
Yeah. And Shannon is saying they call it the back sound. So that's good too. I like that. Yeah, and then, of course, you're going to call it by what it is once they can do it, but you have to break that mindset first.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right.
To change that pattern.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. We have a ton of people on here. We have 26 people watching live right now. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to share and stick around because we're going to do some giveaways here in just a sec. We have 2 more tips for you. We've already thrown out a huge number of tips so far. So let's do Hippo Mouth. Tell us about Hippo Mouth.
I don't know. I used to just call this like the open mouth, but then one of my kiddos was like, it's like a hippo mouth, because when you think about a hippo mouth, they open their mouth so wide. That's like the biggest mouth I could think of, and the kiddo needed that. So now it is the hippo mouth. So
I like it.
When all else fails, I just tell the kiddos to open their mouth as wide as they can, like the widest. Everyone do it with me. If you have your mouth open as wide as you cannot say t. You just can't make a T instead of a K.
Nope.
Now, you might not be able to get a good K. You might be all glottal. But if you have your mouth open as wide as you can kind of shape it from there. Because you just can't make a T when your mouth is open as wide as you possibly can.
Perfect. I love that one. Yeah, the first time I tried that and it worked with a kid, I was like, are you kidding me? I just needed to tell you to open your mouth.
Hippo mouth? Okay, great. We'll do this forever. So just opening your mouth as wide as you can. You really can't. And then as I bring it back down, I start doing that finger hold kind of thing to keep that tongue down. But we just practice it with our mouth wide open as we can. We call it our hippo mouth.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mel, thanks for joining us, Mel. Okay. We have one more tip to share with you. If you've missed any of the tips leading up to now, you will be able to watch the recording afterwards. But we have one more tip to share, and then we're going to move into our giveaways. So stick around. Mel says the hippo sounds fabulous. Absolutely, I agree. Okay, so our last one is when all else fails, cycle. Tell us about that.
It. I think that K and G is one of those sounds that you could like bang your head against the wall every day if you have a kid who just can't get it. I've only had one kid I sent to kindergarten who never ever got it, at least in isolation, and she had autism. There's other things going on there. But if you cannot get it, there's no point in practicing it wrong 100 times a day if you don't have other things to work on. You know, I just don't think it's worth it. So what I do if I have a kid who I cannot get I can't get it in any place, I can't get it in isolation, we're not even close, I just kind of put it aside, even if I think there's other that target is more important than other ones, and I use the cycles approach and I cycle it. So we'll work on it. We might do auditory bombardment the whole time, but we'll work on it for a little bit, do auditory bombardment, work on the elicitation, and then put it away for a few weeks. And sometimes it's hard to do the cycles in a school setting. It's hard for me too. So I just try to run through it so that I'm making sure I've hit it. You know, I kind of think about it in months at a time. So this month we're really going to work on it, and then I'm going to put it away, and then I might test it again and see if we're ready to try it again at a later date.
Mm-hmm. How often do you cycle back? Does it depend on how many goals they have, or?
The amount of goals. Most of my kids have goals for like 2 to 3 processes. So that could be a lot of cycles, because we're writing year-long goals. So that could be a lot of cycles when you think about you're breaking it down to like the individual sounds within those processes, and like if you're thinking about blends and taking those apart. So when you think about that, there's a lot to be targeted. Yeah. So usually I have plenty to work on if I can't get the K and G, and I'll just come back to it, and I'll keep coming back to it and kind of make sure the kiddo's still aware of it, still going to do auditory bombardment just naturally when I'm doing therapy on other things. Yeah. But I definitely cycle through it and try not to just beat your head against the wall with it if you can help it. Yeah. It frustrates the kiddo too, because it's hard to have your speech therapist every day say you're not doing it right. Yeah. We want to find success.
Yeah, I found that the month seems to be a pretty good time frame in terms of like if you're going to try something and you're not making any progress in a month, that seems to be, especially in the schools, that seems to be a pretty good like, okay, we gave it a good month. Let's put that one away and come back to it. So I agree. I think that's good.
And I see my kiddos twice a week, so that would be like 8 different sessions. So that's a pretty good, I think that's a pretty fair amount of time. If I haven't been able to get it at all, then I'll just put it on the shelf and then take a month off and then try it again.
Absolutely. All right, we've got a couple comments here. Angela says, I always say use your cough sound. Have them cough into their elbow when producing it. Hopefully help them to cover their mouth when they really are coughing. Yup. Yep. Debbie is watching from Kuwait. Wow, welcome. You get the farthest person away award. And Chelsea says, I call the G gulping water and the K knocking door sound. I like those. Those are good names.
I like the knocking door.
Yeah, that's good.
I might have to steal that.
Perfect. All right. Well, we have reached the giveaway stage. So if you guys are watching on Facebook Live with us right now on December 5th, you are eligible to enter the giveaways. I have to preface this. I've had some people try to enter via email, and that's not how this works. So I'm going to give this analogy. So it's like watching Jeopardy at home and shouting out your answer. You don't get to win. So you have to be in our live studio audience, which happens to be on Facebook right now. So for giveaways, talk about what you're giving away and then any other resources that you like for K&G.
Yeah, so first I'll talk about a hard resource. I'm holding it. Does it look like a lightsaber to you? This is a throat scope. Let me show you the front of the box. So this is a product that I've been using like crazy with my K&G kids. Actually, all my kids, but let me hold up the box so you can see it. If you need to screenshot it, this would be a good time to do that. You can see what it is. I'll throw a link in here when we're done being live.
Perfect.
But it's one of those great as seen on TV things. It's made in Australia by a mom. And let me show you what it does. So it's a light-up tongue depressor. Watch.
Oh, my gosh. That is so cool.
Can you see my palette? Isn't that awesome? Also, it looks like a lightsaber, which makes every kid willing to do it. What I usually do is bring a puppet. Like I have a dinosaur puppet. And I have the kiddo, like, put it in the puppet's mouth so they can see what we're going to do. Because then I'm not just, like, attacking them with a lightsaber. And then it's way better than the cherry-flavored tongue depressor.
Absolutely.
You have them put this, and you don't have to have a separate pin light. It's way better. So for K&G, I'll have it in my mouth, and they make disposable blades that you attach. Here's, like, one of the blades. And so I'll have one for myself and one for the kid, and we can swap out the base. The base has the light in it. When you put the tongue depressor on, it works.
That's awesome.
Cool, right? So once you slide the tongue depressor or the blade on there, it just stays on.
I love it.
Yeah, right, so it's called Throat Scope. It was made in Australia, but it's available in the U.S. as of January, so perfect timing. And it's like $15 or something.
Whoa.
Like, finally, a therapy tool we can afford.
Right?
It's,
yeah, Emily says she wants that. I agree. I want it too.
I think it's throatscope.com, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And you can order them. I'm going to order like a bunch because I need one in my itinerant bag and I need one in my rolling cart. I've had mine since the beginning of the school year and I've been using it like crazy. And then the package comes with like your throat scope, the base, and like 3 blades for like the $15 or $18, whatever the price was. And then you buy the replacements in bulk, like doctors, therapists, those people. Yeah, and so they're still pretty cheap. It's like $20 for a big thing of blades that's lasted me. I haven't run out yet this year. So that's called the throat scope. That's my first favorite tool.
That's cool. And we'll link to that in the show notes for the Speechie Show, plus in the Facebook post. We'll get the link in there too, so you guys should be able to find that.
And then my favorite therapy resource, I'm about to be covered by a snowman, is this giant poster. So this is what I'm giving away today. And I've been using it all week with some friends. So it's just a poster. And then I have these little, oops, it's upside down. So these are syllable deletion cards that I have out here. But I was using it today in a group where we had mixed skills. We had speech syllable deletion, and we had a kiddo at the word level trying to get to the phrase level for K&G, and I just had him pretend that everything turned cold once we put it on here. So we used the syllable deletion cards, and we said, oh, the blueberry's going to be cold blueberry, cold bulldozer, cold helicopter, cold potato, cold kangaroo. So when you're trying to get to that word level, from the word level to the phrase level, you can use, the other cards. But there's K and G cards in that set too. So I use that a ton because especially my little bodies need to be up. So I take this poster and I tape it to the wall in every classroom that I go into. And so we're not like sitting and doing table work. We're up and we're playing, kind of like pin the tail on the donkey, only it's snowman version.
I love that. That is so cute.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Perfect. Okay, and if somebody wants that and does not win today, is that in your Teachers Pay Teachers store?
In my Teachers Pay Teachers store. So my website, I guess I didn't say earlier, thespeechroomnews.com. So that's where I write my speech therapy blog. And then I make and sell resources that I need and haven't been able to find anywhere else. And you can buy those at shopspeechroomnews.com.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you can, on the left sidebar, there's like categories. So just click winter and it'll be right there.
Perfect.
I also need one for apraxia, but you'll want the phonology if you're working on K and G.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the first giveaway. Stay tuned to get a chance to win that. Let's see. Joseph Lauren says, so cute. Love the poster. I could definitely use that. Yeah, me too. Okay, so for my giveaway, I'm giving away 2 months in the Speech Therapy Solution, which is my membership program. If you guys are not familiar with that, that is a program for speech language pathologists. Once you have access to it, there's a video library with over 300 training videos. There's a materials library with over 100, probably over 150 right now, print and go therapy materials that are all ready to go. You also get weekly Q&A calls with me, a monthly webinar, and a Facebook group for support as well. So a ton of good stuff in there. You get 2 free months if you're the winner today. If you're not the winner, you can find that at speechandlanguagekids.com/join, and that'll give you all the information about that. All right, so here we go. Are you ready for the giveaway? If you're watching on Facebook Live today on December 5th, you are eligible. The first 2 people to respond to this question will win. The first responder will get the snowman pack. The second one will get the 2 months in the membership. Here's the question. Are you ready? Suspense.
Dun, dun, dun. You need my sound effects again, don't you?
I know. Okay, what is your favorite way to elicit K and G? It can be any of the strategies that we talked about today, or it can be a strategy that you like that we didn't talk about. And hopefully we'll have a nice list of strategies here in the comments once a bunch of people respond. We've got 37 people on here right now.
Can't wait to see who wins.
Abby says gravity. Abby Zanaboni, you are the winner of the Snowman Pack. So tell her how you want her to contact you, Jenna.
You can email me, Jenna, Jenna, at thespeechroomnews.com.
Perfect. All right, and they're going fast. I got to scroll back up to the top here. Okay, and oh my gosh, I'm not even going to be able to pronounce that name. Bebhin. Bebin, maybe? Duke? You're the winner. I'm sorry, I butchered your name. You're the winner. You said Hippo Mouth. You are the winner of the 2 free months in my membership. You can email me at Carrie@speechandlanguagekids.com. That's Carrie. Congratulations. Oh, and we have a lot of people. We got Hippo, gravity, cough sound, gravity, all kinds of good responses. So
awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for participating in that. And we hope that helped you with your tricky K and G sound cases, your tricky kiddos. If you need help with more of your tricky cases, you can find my membership program over at speechandlanguagekids.com/join. And Jenna, where can people find more information about you if they would like to check out what you have?
Yeah, check out my blog, thespeechroomnews.com, and follow me on social media.
Which one's your favorite social media?
Instagram is my love right now. Follow me at SpeechroomNews. Follow me on Insta.
Perfect. All right, this is our last Speechie Show for 2016. We're going to take a few weeks to recompose, hopefully get a new software so that we're not doing this weird screen thing. And we will be back on the 2nd of January as our next Speechie Show on Facebook Live. And then, of course, that will go up on the website afterwards. So join us there. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fabulous holiday season and a good Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2017.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming, Jenna. Thanks for joining us today on The Speechie Show. We hope today's tips have helped you feel a little less stressed and a little more confident about your work. If you're looking for more stress busters and confidence boosters, we'd love to have you join us in the Speech Therapy Solution, where you'll get access to a huge library of premium training videos and another library of print and go therapy materials. You can also get help with your tough cases by joining Carrie on the weekly Q&A calls or by posting in the exclusive Facebook group. Plus, group members can join us for a monthly webinar that can be used for continuing education credit. Head on over to speechandlanguagekids.com/join to check out all the amazing benefits of the Speech Therapy Solution membership. Bye for now.